Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of SDGC. It is Thursday, February 25th, the last episode of SDGC for this month. And we've got this is the second week in a row where we've had quite a bit to talk about. And this is what Derek, please.
I just want to say, you said last, and then there was a strong pause, and I was really worried about what you were going to say. I'm shutting the fucking show down.
This is our farewell episode.
This is our final attack against the gamers. We're deleting an entire gaming podcast.
CJ's like, I just fucking got here, dude. What the fuck? There is a lot to talk about, just like last week, and I love our fun topics, but I also love actually having fucking video game news to talk about. This is great.
I wasn't here last week, so Jeff, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 continues to be a great game. Isn't that well?
Hey, it's coming to Switch. Confirmed. It's coming.
It is coming to Switch.
Isn't that great?
Oh,
now you can.
they're not getting my money. They're not getting my money. I'm going to be strong.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah,
okay, Jeff.
Right.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Here's my question. Is anybody...
I might not cave because the Switch version will probably be 30 FPS.
I totally
It is. That's actually been confirmed already.
540p.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Is anybody here doing either exceptionally well or exceptionally poorly?
Exceptionally poorly.
Why can't it be both?
No.
I'm doing exceptionally well.
I'm sorry, bud.
That's all right. My coworker put it best. A lot of us, we started working from home a year ago, but at this point, we're basically living at work instead of working from home. And it's like, just, I don't know. I try to be good about it, but my office is right there. And I'm like, I stress about this thing all day. And then it's like 9:30 at night. And I'm like, oh, I could just pop in and check and see if this thing's finished. And it's just.
Do you wheel your gamer chair in there to work
I actually went into the office tower and I just hauled out my office chair from my desk last year. Didn't even fit in my car. I had to leave the back open.
All right. We actually
said you were doing really well.
Well, Finn's about to have a baby, and he's also frozen in time.
Trying to make this moment last forever.
He's caught between. Whoa, that was weird. Did you see what just happened with his head?
Yeah, with some Japanese horror movie shit.
Oh, that was some fucking Junji Ito shit.
You just were frozen on the stream, and then it all caught up at once, so it was great.
And it was really freaky and weird, Finn.
Yeah, I froze too because I couldn't hear anybody.
Yeah,
it was just silent.
I said, Finn, you said you're having an exceptionally good time. You're about to have a baby.
Yeah.
We can see you blinking. It's not going to work.
Nice try.
We put out a call for Old Wives' Tales to try and get this baby to come out because her due date's not till Tuesday, but we're impatient.
Holy shit! Is it that fucking soon?
Yeah, March 2nd, baby.
Baby on March 2nd.
Wow, I can't fucking. Holy shit! Where's the fucking time going? I'm happy for you, but oh my god, it went fucking by.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Fuck.
So,
dude, by next week we're gonna have a little sake. It's gonna be so cool.
Probably.
Uncle John is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna be such a
cool
uncle.
Uncle John will. I don't know. Let's jury's out on cool.
Time will tell.
John,
Time will tell.
You got half that sentence
John,
right.
you're barely cool as my surrogate father. You're not going to be any cooler as an uncle. What the fuck are you talking about?
What am
You don't even smoke weed. How can you be the cool uncle? What the fuck?
Wait,
man?
no.
I want to smoke
I can unequivocally prove that John will be an uncool dad or uncle because all kids love mobile games, and John's just gonna go, "Oh, those aren't real games. It's on a phone."
Back in my day,
also because
back in my day, we had buttons.
We blew
whatever,
in
boomer.
cartridges. We blew in cartridges and turned consoles upside down.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna be. You know what? Anna's gonna be enjoying Ever Crisis, and you're just gonna be sitting there salty, yelling at her. How you can't enjoy it? It's not on the Switch.
Why am I talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Because your anger.
You look like it
transforms
sometimes.
You. Yeah.
So now that I've been roasted thoroughly by the entire podcast as per usual,
there's more coming. Don't worry about it.
Oh, great! I can't wait, dude. Thank you. It's so fucking cool to be here tonight. do we? So Justin, you prepared something to? Did we want to open with that or?
I mean, we should hit the heaviest and most serious thing first.
Yeah,
I think
like-
so. Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so we kind of been joking around for a little bit. I just want to throw out right now that there's a potential trigger warning for violence against women with this specific situation. I will not be going into the raw details. There's actually a lot of in-depth details about this situation out there. I will not be going over them. I will just be giving a quick overview. But if you want to skip ahead a couple minutes, I want to give people the opportunity to do that if they're listening at home or if they want to tune out for a couple minutes on the live stream. So there's my little pause for that. But over the weekend in Brazil, a Call of Duty mobile esports player, screen name of Soul, full name Ingrid Oliveira, was murdered by a man that was in her esports group. And there is a lot of information about this. She was directly targeted because she is a woman. The details when you go over it are very disturbing. I'm not going to go into them here. It made me sick when I was reading about it. And we just wanted to voice our condolences for the loss of Soul, and also reiterate just how important it is to curate your spaces and how important it is to try to make gaming a more inclusive place. Like, women still face a lot of dangers. A lot of times, sometimes, and I'm well aware of what our panel looks like tonight while I'm talking about this. But this is something that we as a group take very, very seriously. Our moderation team on Discord takes very, very seriously. There's a lot of times when women complain about certain things that are kind of like warning signs that lead down the steps to actual violence. And sometimes, especially a lot of men, don't understand how often women are faced with these sorts of things and how dangerous some of these spaces can be, and how scary it can be to voice your opinions and to try to, elevate your own voice and to, even just be with people that are like you, within gaming spaces, within a lot of geek spaces, within film spaces. Like, this is a pervasive issue in a whole lot of industries, in a whole lot of hobbies, and we just wanted to acknowledge it because it was too important of an issue not to. And we also want to iterate that if there is anything that anybody has an issue with in our communities, anything revolving around this show, please do not hesitate to contact one of us, one of our mods from, our Discord, whoever you feel comfortable speaking with, and we will take what you bring to us seriously, and we will try to act as quickly and as thoroughly as we can.
Justin, if I could just bounce off that real quick. You mentioned we're saying these things while being fully aware of the makeup of our podcast tonight. But I think that's why it's even more important that we speak up on it. Because, women have been saying these things for years, and it's time to advocate. I mean, look at what our friend Mary's been going through on Twitter and YouTube over the past 2 months. And this shit leads to violence. Anybody who says that women aren't targeted in this industry, well, in the entertainment industry, not just gaming, but in the entertainment industry, anybody who says that they aren't targeted is full of shit. And you can sit there and deny it until you're blue in the face, but that's just what it is.
And it's also why it's kind of disturbing when people say, kind of hand wave certain things as being, oh, that was a long time ago or something like that, because there are a lot of ideals and a lot of audiences within gaming communities that don't realize just how much misogyny is encouched in what they say every day, in their actions, in how they perceive things. This is something that it's bothered me for a long time. I hate gatekeeping. I hate the harassment I see people get, and just the lack of freedom a lot of people have to speak up about these issues. And again, I don't want to get too far away from remembering the victim and her family in this situation. So, I just want to, and apparently Brazil has been in a particularly high state of violence against women in the past few years, and there are several programs that are asking for support. So if you were like me and were very disturbed by this story, there are several programs in Brazil that are collecting funds for her family, and for curating some safe spaces among the gaming community in Brazil. So I would recommend you look some of those up.
Yeah, it's it's worth noting that this kind of, it's important to talk about this kind of these kinds of things, and this kind of misogyny within geek spaces or any space that you happen to occupy. Experts on the subject will tell you that extreme misogyny, whether violent or just extreme vocal misogyny, is one of the single greatest predictors of future aimless violence. Domestic terrorism, lone wolf, if you're white, violence, it always starts with women. I mean, almost every serial killer, almost every domestic terrorist that you can name and look into their past, it began with women around them. So it's important to curtail this for all of us, even if you're selfish enough to think that it's not just bad enough that it's happening to women. Like, it's important for us as a society on so many levels to curtail this shit, to pay attention when it's just things like harassment on Twitter, because it predictably does get worse and will get worse and will lead to situations like this.
And if you're a man listening to this and you're getting angry at the fact that we're addressing it, then you're part of the fucking problem.
Yeah,
Period.
fuck off.
Pretty much.
Simple.
We don't want you here. This is not the community for you. Justin, that was very well said. Appreciate it, man.
I hope I did it justice.
Oh, you did.
And I don't want to act like I'm trying to hide, what happened. Just, I think it's a particularly upsetting situation with all the details that are out.
You can look up more reporting if you are really interested in this subject and need to know more. It's not our place to repeat in-depth details in this podcast. So, but you could, it's being widely reported on, so you can easily find out.
And also this was something that was very important to me. It really upset me earlier this week, and I think it's being underreported because it was something that occurred in Brazil and in the mobile game sphere and in the esports sphere. So it's kind of several layers removed from where a lot of the enthusiast games press is. And I wanted to bring it up because I know this is the sort of thing that is really important to us as a show, as well as our community. And I really want this situation to not have happened and for nobody to have learned nothing from it. I really want to take these lessons to heart and try to prevent something like this from happening again.
Very well said, dude. Very, very heartfelt as well, Justin. We as always appreciate you, bud. Anybody else have anything else they wanted to speak up on about this? Anybody?
Sounds like we nailed it.
All right. So now that we've got that, now that we've talked about that, and like Derek said, it's always good to kind of get the heavy stuff out of the way first.
We've also got a small story update, right, on something we covered very recently that we just want to take a couple minutes on. Am I right, Jeff, that's next on the list?
Yeah. We're gonna just talk quickly about Anthem.
Yeah,
honestly, we have a list, but there's five or six things that we had to cut that we could have also included this week.
It's been a pretty crazy fucking week.
Can I say something real quick? Because I want to address somebody in chat real quick, and it's Brittany. Brittany. All I'll say is we love you and we support you and we miss you, and that's it. That's all we got to say. Your family. You always will be. And you're going through. We know you're going through some stuff, and all I got to tell you is we love and support you. Yeah. So I hope that puts a smile on your face, however small it is. Anyway, sorry.
Some of us just support you.
Well, that's true.
Well, of course we had to get that in there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
So,
right.
the quick update, which will only take a moment or two. You may remember a few shows ago we talked about. I don't think reporting is really the right word for anything we do. We spoke about
Hard-hitting investigative journalism.
We spoke about some actual reporting that EA was making a final decision on whether or not to scrap Anthem or move on with an internal proposal to revamp Anthem that was being called Anthem Next. You know, kind of a Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn type situation. EA has made the decision not to. So Anthem ain't getting reborn. It's
Didn't we
done.
all say that too? Like, didn't we all predict that they were going to cank this thing?
We all figured that was likely. I mean, the summary of it.
I mean,
was,
it's not like we were the ones like predicting this. Like I think.
Oh no!
I don't think anybody thought it had a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean, it could have been saved, but I think we also talked about it would be better for them to focus more heavily on stuff like Dragon Age and Mass Effect and make sure that what's coming is good to repair their reputation, because that's really important for them.
Apparently, Dragon Age 4 was up until now a service-based game, which
yeah,
I'm like,
and that's
ooh.
been dropped, and they're focusing on single player. So like,
so glad you're not doing that. Like,
maybe.
So
EA
first of all,
is-
no, shout out to all the people that bought Star Wars Fallen Jedi, because you really sent a strong message
Yeah.
to EA.
Yes, that was kind of one thing that I took away from. There was some reporting from Reb on IGN yesterday, as well as a report from Jason Schreier today about this. But it seems like EA is really letting their studios decide what they want to do right now.
well, Reb's reporting was better.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree.
Just saying.
She had a whole interview.
It was easier to read and much better articulated. And
John,
what? I'm just saying.
Jason's
out there in the
listening in on
universe.
this podcast right
he
now.
is.
Yeah, like but
Run
I
it back
think I've said this before. I mean, it's true of Bioware, but I think it's true of EA as a whole. A ton of their franchises are kind of in a moment where they have to get their next game right.
Yeah.
Like it's not just Dragon Age, it's not just Mass Effect. Battlefield has been in dire straits. I could talk about this for hours, but like if you're looking at the FPS landscape for this year, like everybody's just like Battlefield 6, please be good.
Yeah.
Like it's there's a lot that EA as a whole has riding on it, but it's starting to seem like maybe they have learned some of the right lessons and are hopefully on the right path.
Well,
And
so-
I think the next game from a whole lot of their developers, except for Respawn, who are clearly EA's golden boys right now, is going to be kind of a make or break moment for not just that studio, but the publisher as a whole.
So,
Well, as Sam in chat pointed out, Motive had their new IP that they've been working on for years canceled. So when EA says that they're letting their studios make decisions, I mean, I take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, fair.
But
Fair.
I mean, at the same
I forgot
time,
about that,
they're
too.
stripping the service elements from Dragon Age 4 and saying you make the single player RPG that you've been wanting to make. So I think that the way I will take that, where I can try to reconcile these two things, is that EA is still going to be a publisher, but they're maybe going to be less forceful about going, we need to check these boxes to maximize monies, because they recognize that being too overtly cynical about these things tends to be met with negative financial results.
So here's my quick cut on this. We had talked about this last time the topic was brought up, and I've seen a lot of comparisons made online between the situation with Bioware and Anthem and the situation with Square Enix and the original version of Final Fantasy XIV. And both were just massive flops. Both had a myriad of problems, and both developers were in rough shape. The difference being that I don't think Bioware is near the condition that Square Enix was in at the time. Square Enix took a huge gamble when they re-rolled the dice on Final Fantasy XIV. It took them 2 years to bring it back out, and when they did, that's the game that brought them back in the black. It literally probably saved the company. I don't think. I think if Bioware had been worse off, they might have gambled just bet the house on this one and done what they could to make it a much better game. But I don't think they needed to, is the thing. And I think ultimately that's why Anthem Next got just yeeted out of existence, because they didn't need it. That Square Enix needed Final Fantasy 14 to succeed. Anthem, Bioware just doesn't need Anthem.
Have you noticed the troubling Bioware pattern though? And I'm sure a lot of it is EA's influence, but just the way that they are abandoning games to shift focus on the next one. Like Mass Effect Andromeda was abandoned to focus on Anthem, and then Anthem is being abandoned and everything is being shifted to Dragon Age 4. I don't know, it just makes me nervous that I've lost, even though the Dragon Age news is heartening, it's also disheartening because
they were going to do that to begin with.
Well, they were going to do that to begin with, which already makes me think Dragon Age 4 was announced 3-4 years ago.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So now the whole scope of the game's been scrapped and updated.
Oh, dude, you're not playing that game for another 3 years, if not longer.
And then it's just, I don't know. Do we even trust the Bioware of today to even hit the highs of Inquisition? And even then, Dragon Age Origins was, for most people, the highlight of the franchise. I mean, I loved Inquisition, but that's a completely different studio now.
I like to say that a step in the right direction is not the same thing as taking the right path, right? Like, this is a good thing, but they're going to have to ship a good-ass game before I'm ready to start trusting BioWare again, unfortunately. Like, they don't have that goodwill with me anymore.
Yeah, they've kind of it just got eroded, and it took a while. Let's be real.
But I'm ready to be wrong.
Yeah, no, please. I am ready to be just have my world rocked with an amazing Dragon Age followed by an amazing Mass Effect. I'm hoping that the trilogy comes out and they don't fuck it up, and so we get to see the glimpses of the BioWare that was the current BioWare, because I've been a fan since the Neverwinter Night days. But it's been a while since BioWare's game got slapped onto a product, and you're like, yeah, this was good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to add, but I do agree with Finn that they're just not quite the developer they used to be.
Jeff,
that's all I got to say about
my man. What's next on the list? You're muted.
Jeff,
you're muted again.
Cool.
Once
Jeff.
a show, man.
This is like SDGC tradition. You guys give me shit.
Well,
we do.
I left myself unmuted once, and then everyone could hear me typing, so that was the end of that. Yeah, we got more bad video game project news. Unfortunately, it's almost like making video games is really fucking hard.
Especially right now.
I don't believe that, Jeff. All those Collins College ads that I saw growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
they
man.
Just tightened up the graphics on level
3. Make a
three.
video game in 7 days.
You got to tighten those shit up on level 3, man. That's all. Can you believe they get paid to do this shit?
So I'm gonna tell the story in 3 parts. So in 2018, a studio called Paradox Interactive purchased a 33% stake in Seattle-based Hardsuit Labs, a developer, for $2 million. The next year, in 2019, they announced Vampire Bloodlines 2, a successor to a huge cult classic. A lot of people consider it one of the best written RPGs of all time. Notoriously very buggy, came out in early 2000s on the Source engine. So this was a really unexpected but really hype announcement. And then last year in 2020, after going pretty silent, they weirdly delayed it and announced a reorganization, and that they were laying off some of the leads who had worked on the original game. And that was not a good sign. And then this week they announced the game is delayed even further. It was supposed to be out last year. Now
it's out a year ago.
Yeah,
now it's last March, right?
Yeah, now it's 2022 at the earliest, and they've pulled the entire developer that they invested in from the project and fired them. And there was no new developer announced. So, I mean,
which is wild.
Yeah,
so this is going to be the next Dead Island 2 or Agent, isn't it?
Well, speaking of,
I think Dead Island 2 has a developer assigned to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, but we've also heard stories about Techland having some major issues behind the scenes this week too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty crazy because they, it seemed like when they announced the game, it was pretty far along because they had announced a release date or release window with it that was like March of 2020, which was, within 6 months. So it had to have been like, I would imagine it couldn't have just been a concept. Like they must have a game there. And I would love to know what actually has been happening because so much of the people they brought back, a lot of the goodwill around the project was the fact they had so much of the original team. And then to see it just kind of slowly fall apart, I really couldn't even begin to speculate what's going on there, but obviously it's not a good sign. So I don't know if there's a lot to add beyond just like, it's pretty crazy. It's not often that you see like, the entire developer just removed from the project.
God, this is making me think of games like I said, Dead Island 2 and Agent, but also Justin mentioned in the chat Dying Light 2. Like, where the fuck is that? And it's like,
well, I mean,
like,
we just also got a story, I think the same day about Techland and their struggles making Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Chris
Dead
Avalon
Island 2
got
is Dying
removed.
Light 2.
Got removed from the project after
They're the same game. You can't
allegations came out
also
last
fuck
year.
Chris Avalon.
But it seems like the whole studio is having a lot of management issues and low morale, and
those Techland's issues go far beyond not being able to get games out in a timely manner. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on there. CJ, you got anything you wanna cut in on, man? With talking about
I have no interest in Vampire. I was too young when that came out, so I can't really comment on it.
Didn't it come out the same day as Half-Life 2?
Hold on. CJ, what year were you born? I just want to do an experiment.
I was.
Oh no!
You want an experiment? What? 97?
No, I was 17.
Okay. I was just making sure you were born when the first one came out, but we're good. We're good.
It was what, 2004?
Yeah.
I was 7 years old.
Man, fuck that.
Definitely
dude.
should not have been playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines at 7 years old.
Yeah, that probably would have been the best game to be playing.
Like we didn't all play Doom when we were like 7 or 8. Come on. John was already 20 when Doom came out.
As a 7-year-old, I commented on the bugs.
Vampire's a very horny game too, so.
John was actually one of the people that was hand wringing about Mortal Kombat's violence for the young. He was like, "These young
what are you
kids
talking about? You're like 4 years younger than I am. What the? Shut the fuck up."
Him and Andrew Lincoln were at the
Andrew
hearings for the SRP.
There's a name I haven't heard in a long time. No, like so we can all agree, right? That like Vampire isn't coming out for 5 fucking years. Like that
sure.
game is.
Is that game coming out anymore?
Coming out is still a question I have about.
I honestly, based on this, I wouldn't be surprised if it just doesn't come out or gets canceled. I mean, the whole reason it seemed possible is because they brought the original team back, and now that they're gone, like I don't even know
what's the point. Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. Like, this isn't a big. This isn't like, this is a niche fucking game. Like, this isn't gonna sell.
I was about to say, CJ hit the nail on the head. Like, I mean. It's not like this is like the next Halo or the next Call of Duty. Like it's Vampire the Masquerade. I mean it.
Like John, you mentioned like Agent. Like okay, yeah, like that's not that's not going to come out ever. But it's a Rockstar game. There's like hype behind that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's going to play Vampire 2021?
Yeah, like
I might have.
No, you wouldn't have. Shut up.
I was going to. I actually was excited for it, but I get it. I never played the original.
Jeff was going to play.
Yeah,
too,
like.
Right?
I put it on our like top 100 games of all time. I think like I only played it a few years ago actually, and like I think that speaks to the writing. Like I was like, this is one of the best fucking games I've ever played. But it's like it's so fucking janky, just as you expect. It's like feels like a mod made for the source engine, right?
It is a true testament to like when people say PC gaming is a pain in the ass. I'm constantly like, no, like almost my entire Steam list just launches, plays no problem. Like
and then you look at Vampire,
but then you get a Vampire that you need to like perform calculus on a blackboard behind you to make it work,
and
with a webcam on so that the game watches you do it.
That's like, why this is such a big bummer for me, because I see a lot of stuff in this game that I know people like. I see a lot of Fallout New Vegas with like the writing quality. I see a lot of like stuff that people like in arcane games with like freedom to
it looks a lot like an arcane game.
Yeah, and like I was like, man, like that first game had such a bad fate. It was like kind of half baked. And I'm like, it's great that this new one's going to have like a strong team and a real budget and is actually going to like finally break through to a bigger crowd. And so it just sucks the way
Let's
it turned
just have
out.
Arcane make a vampire game. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
They made a play game.
Yeah.
They could revive some other like.
Sure. Let's go.
game.
Doesn't even have to be Vampire the Masquerade. Just a game about
Yeah.
vampires. You know what? I'm in. Fuck it.
I'm all about that because I mean one of the most hollowed old PC series, Derek, I'm sure you know, was Thief, right? You know, the Thief series, and we all know what happened when Thief got rebooted by.
It never got rebooted. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Derek, no. You know what happened when Thief got rebooted, and that was the
No, I don't.
original dev team, and it was a video game that existed. And so I don't know. Yeah, you know, like CJ's onto something. Maybe bring some fresh blood in.
Yeah.
You see it? Nothing. Okay. He's vampire.
Oh, blood. It's a vampire joke. John, that's so funny. God, wow.
Man, shut the fuck up. What's the
So
next topic?
Next topic just says lead Hogwarts Legacy developer complete shithead.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's-
Oh god.
No, we do have to address this.
Yeah.
Yo,
And
we
I
have
think
to
this will be
address
fun.
it. It's just
Not secret shithead. Like
It would
full
be
on,
great
like,
if we didn't have to talk about fucking Gamergate in the year of somebody's Lord 2021, but here we fucking go.
How so? Like, you know, there's been a massive, like, you know, people on the right are like,
what's
you're
what's
trying to get him fired.
real quick?
Like, you know,
What's Dick Bad's name, and what's his specific job title?
so his
on the
name is
project?
Troy Leavitt.
Okay.
And he is the lead. I think he's the dev lead actually.
he's a lead designer.
He's the lead designer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an official title or if that's what he is calling himself. Like, I
Or
don't
just
know
what
if
he's
that's
being
what he-
reported as.
Yeah.
By,
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, so I don't want to say that's like on the game credits. He's
So-
like,
He said this also when he said he was a proud Slytherin. And anybody
that's
worthy
not a
of our-
good. I don't buy into.
anyone that's worthy of my bloodline will probably enjoy my game or some shit like that. Like, I saw the tweet. It was like every warning sign just in that one.
The first half was obnoxious Harry Potter shit. The second half is where you really got me.
Yeah, no,
Right.
like he like straight up is like anybody that's worthy of this, and it was like, oh no, like he's not just like, oh, I'm an edgelord, so I say I'm a Slytherin. Like, this is I think they had some really good ideas, which is why I say I'm a Slytherin.
You know,
like,
the Slytherins were really good for Hogwarts economy. Is all I'm saying.
So he tweeted out that, you know, he was like, I disclosed all this to Warner Brothers before
Let's
it came to the
start
project.
with
They
some
were
basic
fine with it.
details because we're
And-
jumping too far ahead.
yeah,
So,
sorry, we are jumping too far
Troy,
ahead.
what's his last name?
Leave it.
Leave it.
Dickhead. Got it. Troy Dickhead.
Troy Dickhead.
was
Yeah.
basically a quartering wannabe. Is the best way I can describe it. He was an anti-feminist and anti-social justice pro-Gamergate YouTuber who made.
I hate the fact that we had to utter those words on this podcast.
I know. At least this is not Twitter, and they cannot sound search us to find us right now. Yeah, well, right. Give it time. But yeah, and he did just constant videos. He had a video about, like, in defense of John Lasseter, like,
Okay,
okay.
I know I'm kind of missing the point, but I was laughing so hard going through those the YouTube thumbnails that people had captured because they look like a parody of like that kind of guy.
because
But
he's
he
an
made them
obnoxious, unskilled white
completely
man
serious.
with
He
Photoshop
had-
that he doesn't
he
know how
had-
to use.
He had one that was, it's okay to be a gamer, and it was like a
Yeah,
25-minute video.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
between
another
everything-
one. There's another one. It was like the tyranny of feminism, and I'm like,
Yeah, there was a is wrong think real? video?
Yeah,
Like, it
there
was. So
Oh,
yeah, it
In
was
the
all that,
immortal
and then-
words of Soren Bowie, my arm is not long enough for the jerk-off motion that is in my soul.
like, yeah,
So-
this guy like completely wins like Chud bingo, like in
Chud
3 directions. Like I
Like, he
fell down a
sounds like
hole of
like a
going
cop,
through
like a
his
fucking-
of going through
Basically.
his Twitter. I went through this guy's Twitter account back for years. like years and years. Like,
Oh
this
god,
stuff
dude,
isn't-
his likes, holy fuck.
Okay, like,
Oh, are there
he-
anime titties? I bet there are. Bidoof's Law reigns supreme.
no.
There was the Rian Johnson and Last Jedi hate, so he hit that one.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Ian Miles Chong.
He's a big IMC reply guy. A big
That's
one.
depressing.
Yeah.
That's real
Man.
depressing, folks.
Yeah, he is.
Nobody
And-
should be an IMC reply guy.
He follows like 2 other game studios other than Warner Brothers, and one of them is CD Projekt Red, which
Of
is
course
just
it is,
fucking
right,
hilarious.
Or there.
Also,
yeah.
just on top of that, like, the fact that he doesn't interact with games people means he's trying to distance himself from that,
Right.
so people don't find out about what he believes.
Well, no, but here's the
and
thing.
stuff.
Here's the thing. He tweeted out after all the, after people started talking about this, he tweeted out, well, before I came on, I notified Warner Brothers of all this stuff and they didn't care. I'm like, but you, one, I don't believe that. But two, if that's true, one, fuck Warner Brothers, and two, you knew you said some really bad shit and made some stupid fucking videos, and like if you're not worried about that, then you don't like if you know it's bad, then you don't fucking warn Warner Brothers. You don't feel the need to warn them about it. But the
Yeah.
fact that you felt
if you know it's bad,
do
you
that,
delete it.
you just get rid of it.
Yeah, if
And-
you think I don't like what I said and I disagree with it, you scrub that shit from the internet. I regularly scrub Facebook posts from 8 years ago that pop up in my on this day thing that I go, I don't much like what I said there. Beep. Like, and that's not even problematic shit. If you're keeping up a whole YouTube channel, like, you still believe that shit. You still buy that shit.
Right.
He's still awful. And here's my thing. If Warner Brothers knew, A, they did not give him permission to say that they knew and did not care. Guarantee that he did not have permission to say that. He's going to get in trouble for that. B, we all know that Gamergators are usually some of the stupidest and most impulsive fucking people on the planet. Like, consistently. And I'm willing to bet you that Warner Brothers did not know. And he simply said that. No thoughts as to what consequences could happen.
What crushes me about this whole thing, Derek, is that a bunch of pissed off gamers on the right are like, oh, you're trying to smear him. And I'm like, it's not a smear. He said these things. He produced these things. That's not a fucking smear. It's out there for anybody to see. He made no effort to hide it.
Yeah.
And also,
My favorite defense.
If it's a smear, that means
That's
it's not
my favorite
fucking
defense.
true.
How dare you use the very public? Yeah.
How dare you use my YouTube channel against me?
You use my own
cry
word against
foul
me, Dave?
when you
Like-
just. Yeah. How dare you use the words in the public space that I said, and then quote me back verbatim? Like, how dare you?
How dare you?
Stop
please
trying to
like and
cancel me
subscribe.
by telling me the only things I said.
Like nobody's
Yeah.
it's
Like
not a
the other-
smear. You fucking said these things. Go ahead, Justin.
the other thing, just CJ, did you have something to say? Sorry, I thought I saw you raise your hand.
No. God.
Okay.
Just clown this guy.
So I mean, just I'm not actually going to directly talk about him right now, but like the whole employer thing, like the reason they would look at, I mean, they have not said anything about this situation since it was brought to light. He said they knew about it, and which like that's another issue. But like the reason like people would be looking at firing somebody or not hiring them because of this is just even just from a general like makeup of your employees. Like this is somebody who could be potentially hostile to women that work in your place. Like this is somebody that could be potentially be hostile to queer people that work in your places. Minorities.
Nobody who's ever been a shithead to women online is like, but I'm cool with the gays. They're fine.
Yeah.
like this is somebody that could create a hostile work environment, could potentially be a harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. Like on top of that, like I don't think people understand just how much these posts said about him.
I should point
as a
out,
person.
he doesn't have to just do anything to be hostile. Like it's already a hostile environment, in my opinion.
That's true.
As soon as those people that he works with, for sure, some of them are onto this. And as soon as they go to his YouTube page, how many fucking women on that team or people who were directly targeted in those videos are just now like, don't feel comfortable going into work and like sitting beside this guy? That's a fucking hostile environment. And his employer is just apparently cool with it, which really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As if I didn't need any more reason not to buy this game. Like, I mean,
I was already
holy
like, Jowling Cowling Rowling already is not on my nice list for Christmas, as I am Santa Claus. Little known fact, I am announcing that here. But J.K. Rowling is already not on the nice list. But I mean, yeah, this fucking dude, like, I at least felt bad for the team. And I still feel bad for some people who work on the team, but lead designer is a pretty high title to be held by a shithead like this. So,
you know, and a lot of people are saying, Derek, you know, you're trying to get him fired. It's like, look, I'm not going to tell Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Look, here's the thing. I'm not trying to
Sure thing.
Look, I'm not buying this fucking game, so whatever. Warner Brothers do whatever the fuck they want. But what I will say is this: if you believe that anybody who isn't a straight white male is a second-class citizen, then fuck you. You don't deserve work. Like, I mean, there's no place for you in a civil, tolerant society. There just isn't. Like that, and that's not, you know, that's fucking basic human decency. You know, like that guy's fucking YouTube channel tells me literally everything I need to know about his worldview, everything I need to know about his mindset. And, you know, it's easy it's easy for me, a straight white guy, to sit here and say, fuck this guy. But how do you think any fucking woman on his team feels? You know, after having this brought to their attention, like, I can't even fucking fathom it. So yeah, like, you know, if that's your worldview, if that is your shitty ass worldview, fucking, you know, eat my ass from the front, baby. You know, like, fuck you. You don't deserve a fucking job. There's no fucking room for you.
Our beautiful father to be has some words. Finn. I do want you to be able to put your arm down before it falls off.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
No, I was just, it's like you said, you feel bad for the rest of the team, because before it was JK was the piece of shit and it was tainting the game, but you felt bad for the devs because, you know, they're not part of that, and now they are, and it just is a bummer, because obviously he doesn't speak for the whole team, but it's hard to now think, like, the studio hasn't put out any statement like saying that this is bad and we don't agree with his views. It's just now it's bringing a whole nother level of just taintedness to the whole game.
Yeah, I think maybe Warner Brothers games.
And I feel for the people that aren't shitty.
Yeah, like as Jeff pointed out, the head of Warner Brothers Games said that J.K. Rowling is entitled to her views and he respects her opinion. Remember that trans people not only don't exist but are actually just all secret predators. So yeah, maybe WB Games is just fucking garbage, and we should not get anything from them.
I mean,
I'm gonna leave that up to you, but I think that's a good attitude for me to take going forward as somebody who is not a cis person. like maybe.
I mean, you know, J.K. Rowling is totally entitled to her views, and I'm totally entitled to tell her to place my entire ass in a bowl and eat it with a spoon. You know, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, human rights aren't an opinion. That's what this always comes back to. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that everyone's entitled to. It's not an opinion.
I'm so fucking like, and if I, again, a straight white guy, am so fucking tired of having to say this, I can't imagine what anybody who doesn't look like me is thinking. Yeah. Like, I just, fuck this guy. Can we not talk? Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else.
You know what? So we have said fuck this guy enough, and now we are on to the truly fun half of the show.
Okay.
Oops, all
video games. We're going to talk about video games.
There have been so many PlayStation announcements and pieces of news around PlayStation this last week that honestly the last half of the show is literally just marked PlayStation shit. Like,
is that literally what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it is.
I mean, yeah. Like, so what? Do we even have a chronological order, or is it not even worth trying to put that together?
So I'll just fart out some stuff in the DM here, and you guys can run through.
Yeah, I know. So the first thing that I remember.
Let's do state of play stuff last.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest to kind of bundle up together. So there was a couple things that were from.
Earlier in the week,
ago.
we had
we
had two big pieces of announcements. We had we'll start with PlayStation VR coming to PlayStation 5. Somebody who paid more attention to that announcement, because it's not the half I cared about. Did they confirm
the announcement?
Did they confirm a new headset, or is it just
it's a new headset?
Yes, it will
be one cord.
Okay.
And use the dual
instead of
style. It'll use a brand new control scheme as well, so you won't have
New
to have the
controller.
moves anymore.
Good.
Thank God.
new
Thank God,
controller,
because
wider field of view, higher resolution display, but that's about all we know. I was
We
hoping
do
it
know
would be
one thing is
wireless.
that they're future proofing the tech. They said
Yeah.
like the glasses.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So
PSVR was pretty outdated by the time it came out, even wasn't it?
Yeah,
compared to
and
other
it was
headsets?
kind of
was.
it was kind of just hacked together too, because it was using the PS3 move, like the PS3 Move controllers and the iToy, and
Yeah,
like
it was a
And so
let's
this
it,
is-
it was a let's get our foot in the door kind of peripheral.
Yeah.
You know, like let's get it out there.
it's really cool. I'm really excited to see what PSVR 2 can do, because obviously the PS5 spec wise is way better than the PS4 was at the time. This is going to be a lot of advancements have been made in terms of how games are made for VR, in terms of control. There's a lot that Sony can do to make that experience better. I hope it's cheaper. Because
Probably not.
yeah, probably not, but I can hope.
I'll hope it's
I
much
don't know.
better for the same price.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, because I think it'll at least be I think it'll actually be a much more viable solution for like high-end VR games, because PSVR never was.
It's too bad they couldn't get it cordless. Like one cord's good, but like from the people I know that tried the Quest and stuff like that, I think just like that literally like just being able to put it on and just disappear into it.
Yeah,
and
no,
not have
that
to
would
be-
have been incredible, but I think it would have to have been like a standalone thing with its own processing to be able to
Yeah,
do that,
'cause that's how the
instead of
Quest works,
probably right. Yeah.
instead of having the full capabilities of like the PS5.
Well-
But I mean, if you have a PSVR and you know how many cords that thing
Oh god,
is
dude,
to
I've
hook up,
got one sitting over there, and no, fuck that. Like it's a goddamn spider web. Like I've used it. I used it once, and I disconnected it, and I was like, yeah, I'm never hooking that fucking thing back up ever again. I couldn't even remember. I can't even remember how to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. Plus, the motherfucker just made me want to vomit.
It feels like this is maybe the best chance we may see ever. Tell me if you think I'm being sensationalist here, but
You're being sensationalist.
VR has had a hell of a time becoming mainstream, breaking out of the kind of niche that it has. Mostly because on PC it requires very high-end gaming hardware that you can't even get right now, and the headsets are extremely expensive. And PSVR was a solid opportunity, and that it was an affordable headset for a piece of hardware a lot of gamers already had, and it still didn't catch on super hardcore. But again, it was also cobbled together solution. You had to have Move controllers and an iToy, and it was a billion cords. It was just kind of clunky. But I just feel like if the PSVR does not bring VR truly mainstream, like that doesn't mean death of VR, but I feel like that means VR is going to remain, like that's a sign that VR is for a niche at that point.
Oh yeah,
Does
no,
make
that
sense?
was yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. It's never going to be mainstream, at least not anytime soon. And it's got some stiff competition in the like I have we got my son an Oculus Quest 2 VR deal, and like say what I mean. Yeah, I get Facebook is a shitty company, but this thing is also the real fucking deal.
Yo, it's
Like
dope as fuck. I tried it once. Like the coolest thing in the world.
CJ, it's super fun. CJ,
Oh
what
my
did you
God.
play?
What did I? Oh man! So my uncle had I played it over at his place. He has with that Walking Dead game, Saints and Sinners.
I've heard
That's
about
supposed
that,
to be
yeah.
really
Holy
fucking
shit.
good. From
Dope
what
as
I
hell,
heard.
actually.
Holy shit! Because like that's sort of what I wanted out of VR, right? Like a really good first-person shooter. Like I want give me translate that sort of Call of Duty into VR,
Yeah.
right? That did it. It's like I know there's a PS4 version of the PSVR. I can't imagine
So
the fucking downgrade.
CJ, if you want your mind blown the next time you put that thing on, play Super Hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
Super
bet
Hot
that
VR
fucks you
changed
up.
my goddamn life.
It I mean, I was literally just twisting around, grabbing frying pans and knocking bullets out of my path. Like, I mean, it like Super Hot on the Oculus is a
Super
whole
hot
different
is pretty
ballgame.
fire.
Oh,
I
I
love
get
you,
it. It's
Finn.
like
I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna give
Wait,
that one
hold on.
recognition.
Wait, no.
That's
Why
funny.
would I make a dad joke? Everybody's like, "Oh, John," and then Finn makes a dad joke, and Derek's like, "I love you, Finn." That's bullshit.
Shut the fuck up, John.
Shut the fuck.
What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
Man.
Like I had a PSVR for a while. I'm just gonna keep going because everyone's
Yeah,
just
no,
having a
please
meltdown
do.
here.
Please do, Jeff.
No, I had a PSVR for a while. I'm a big believer in it. It's it's always going to be a hard thing because like you can't sell it in a trailer or commercial. You kind of have to try it, and especially now with the pandemic, please don't try on headsets that other people have used.
Oh God, please do not do that.
Yeah, but it's always hard because you basically have to buy a console that requires another console. So like, there's a big barrier, and I don't know if that's ever going to go away. The prices have come down a little bit. Honestly, I feel like it had its moment. I really felt like PSVR was the chance. Like the PlayStation 4 sold over 100 million units now. I'm sure PS5 will do good. I don't think the PS5 will outsell the PS4. It might be very close, but
I mean, at the rate that they're producing them, it won't.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say where things are going to be in 5 or 7 years. But even if the headset is that much better, I feel like VR was really like everyone was talking about, at least in the gaming space a few years ago, and the headsets are getting better, but the conversation is not kind of like coming back up. And I don't know. I don't see that moment where all of a sudden it's gonna take off. I think it will continue to have a market for a while, and I think there'll be some really cool innovations, but everyone keeps talking about like when's VR gonna like break through, and I just don't. If it hasn't at this point, I don't know. You can make better headsets and stuff, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Hold on.
I mean, the only way it's gonna really break out is if more people get them in their homes and then like have friends over and be like, look how fucking cool this is, and then other people go out and buy it. Like it's such a
you need that Wii Sports thing, right?
Yeah, like and like me, Astrobot Rescue Mission, somebody just mentioned it in chat, was one of the best things I've ever played, period. I adored that game. Half-Life Alyx is out, and like it got some people buying headsets on PC, but still like apparently it's a phenomenal game. Like
I love Half-Life.
It's a brand new
Half-Life
Half-Life game. But I can't play it because I don't have a PC VR setup. Which Sony should pay Valve whatever they ask for to get that on
wait.
PSVR 2.
There's something I have to address. I'm just learning from chat that there was a pink eye epidemic caused by Oculus at PAX.
That was a couple of years ago, yeah.
I did not know this. Wow.
That makes sense.
You never demo VR in any kind of public arena.
You've
What the fuck?
seen
I
what
played
the
a bunch
lines
of
look
VR
like.
games at PAX both years. That didn't end badly. I definitely didn't get terribly sick last year.
Well, to be fair, that was my fault. So
Yeah, but I thought I was at the airport with Justin. I thought he was gonna die as we were leaving. Like I was like, Justin, please,
Man,
please live.
I don't even like going bowling and like just like them pulling out those real stinky shoes that 20 other people wore. I can't imagine putting on another headset.
remember how when the
No.
pandemic started, we had to teach
No.
people how to wash their hands properly? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's really great.
All right, so there's a couple
All right.
other things even before the state of play.
The other half of that announcement, which I think Jeff is the only other like PC person here really hardcore.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So Days Gone got announced for PC. And Sony spoke a little more in detail about they do intend to continue bringing first party published titles to PC.
Cool.
They did specifically say that a big part of that is that just games are fucking expensive to make nowadays. And Sony puts a lot of money behind their first party titles, and PC is another avenue of revenue for them. So I don't know how y'all think or feel. I do not think that anybody should expect that, for example, God of War 2 is going to come out day and date on PC.
No.
Like, I think what this means...
I'll go as far. What was it? I don't think like any of the sort of system sellers, like the Sony system sellers, will make it to PC. Like, I don't think God of War, Spider-Man, Uncharted, or Last of Us are going to make it to PC. I think the sort of secondary stuff like Horizon, Days Gone, what else? Last Guardian, is the Detroit's on PC already, but that's really not a first-party game, is it?
Yeah,
it was considered a PlayStation Studios game, but they bought the rights back and then published it on PC.
But yeah, like I don't expect like GT7 or Ratchet and Clank to make it to PC either. Like those games seem like locked to the platform.
And I think that everything's going to be time delayed, right? Like Horizon, I think Days Gone coming out. What is this now? When did Days Gone come out?
It's like 2 years later.
It was 2019. So 2 years.
Was it 2019?
Yeah, it was 2019.
So 2 years, like that's reasonable. And my attitude is that these being like Sony has the incentive to sell PlayStation hardware with their exclusives. I get it. So the fact that these games are going to come to PC at all, you know what? It's fine if they're a little late. Like that's still them investing in a platform that they don't directly benefit from other than game sales. And, you know, it's going to be, nobody else has really done anything quite like that. Nintendo sure as hell never has.
No.
So, you know, I mean, even if they just do some games as it makes sense to try to make a little extra money off them a couple years down the road, like, you know, that's new people playing Horizon and new people who will play Days Gone. So
just go ahead.
So I've got a few things to think about this. Like, so I also very much agree. I think it's going to be time delayed. I think even a year is probably short for like these time frames. Like Horizon was 3 years after release. Days Gone is going to be 2 years after release. I think they're probably also going to time some things to kind of advertise PS5 stuff. Like maybe God of War does come to PC, but it comes out while they're in the process of marketing the PS5 one.
Yeah,
and then they're like, hey,
God of War 2.
Yeah, here's the one from a couple years ago. More people can play it. If you want to play the new one, grab a PS5. And then also, like, Sony is investing. They created another PlayStation Studios division to do more TV and movie stuff with their PlayStation IPs. Last of Us has an HBO series coming out with Pedro Pascal as Joel. Like, Last of Us Remastered on PC might be a good thing to release around the time that HBO is showing, you know, the series on TV. Like, I think this opens up ways for them to make more money from their IPs, but I don't think they're going to be changing their production pipeline and being like, hey, Naughty Dog, you have to make a PC version alongside this PS5 version.
No.
Like, their studios, I think, are still going to be heavily invested in getting the most out of the PlayStation hardware at the time that they're working on it. These will be done, you know, down the line, probably by port studios, most likely, not dedicating too many internal resources. And just because also the games that Sony makes as exclusives are a lot of narrative single player games. These aren't the types of things that they get recurring revenue from. You buy the game once and then you have it. And especially since they have been actually doing, you know, we actually have full PS4 backwards compatibility. They've enhanced God of War, Days Gone, few other games to be, you know, 4K 60 on the PS5. On top of that, like, those games aren't getting rebought. They're getting bought once. And so they need to do something to get some more money out of their stuff.
Giving away with that subscription. I do think that we're not going to see them make a habit of like making most of their games like that are 2-3 years old eventually come, because I don't think Sony wants the expectation to be made either that like, hey, if you just hold out a couple years, you'll be playing this on your pretty PC.
That's
they
fair.
still want you to feel like you have to buy it. If you're somebody like me who has a PC and is going to have a PS5, like, you know, they still want me to buy the games on PS5, not weigh that against me definitely getting it 2-3 years down the road. I almost at this point hope that Bloodborne never comes to PC.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
Yeah, just for the chaos that it will cause.
One game I want on PC, Dreams.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely needs a PC port. That game would thrive on PC, and a PC community working with the PlayStation community for creations, for streaming, for like
Something that
YouTube
lives on
coverage, for
user-generated
tutorials.
content, that's huge.
Like it would benefit the PlayStation version of the game and the PC game, and that game deserves so much more recognition than it's been getting. It's a wonderful tool, and I want to see more people have access to it.
I'll never understand the consternation people have about, for example, Sony games, Sony first-party games going to PC. Like, it's more money for the devs, it's more revenue for the devs, and it's more people able to play the game. So there's nothing to lose. It's just like, it's just a brief aside, but it's something I've seen quite a bit of over the past week, and I don't understand that attitude. Calm the fuck down, man. You'll still be able to play it on your PS5 or whatever. It's not like the game's fucking going away. Who gives a shit? I know it's all silly console war bullshit, but still.
Yeah.
Do we got the did you guys want to tackle some of the games here on our state of playlist, like Crash 4?
Well, there's one more.
Let's do Japan Studio first.
Yeah, one more piece of news, and then we can talk state of play.
I forgot about that.
Who wants to take that on?
I mean, I could take that one on again.
Take
too.
it, Bustin.
Astrobot team is still safe, so I breathed my sigh of relief.
Yeah. So,
sorry, Bloodborne fans.
I'm kind of in a similar boat with this, but it is sad, I think, from a history standpoint, and just kind of, I think symbolically, it's very sad. Sony has basically decided that PlayStation is kind of getting rid of Japan Studio. Japan Studio has been kind of a collection of a lot of development teams for many, many years. There's many teams within Japan Studio. They created Ape Escape. They created Parappa, Astrobot, Gravity Rush, many PlayStation franchises since the beginning. And so now it's basically it's not entirely getting shut down, but they are kind of getting rid of these multiple teams and kind of rebuilding it around Asobi Team, who is the team that has created the Astrobot games, which have been wonderful. I've talked at length about how much I love both of those games so far.
Yeah, like Asobi's going to be a standalone team, and some of these internal people are going to join that, but a lot of them are leaving.
Yeah, a lot of them have been leaving. I'm not sure how much is them quitting or getting fired. It's not really clear. I hope everybody lands on their feet. I know, losing that many developers in Japan when it already has declining, development teams and team sizes is really sad. But the writing has kind of been on the wall for a while. A lot of the projects that Japan Studio has been involved in, they've just been kind of a supervisory role, like Bloodborne and Last Guardian and stuff like that. They've not had very many commercial successes in like the past 15 years or something.
For me, it's just like an end of the era. It's like an end of era.
Yeah, it's an end of an era thing. Like, if you've been following this studio, and the exclusives and stuff, it's not surprising, but it is a very sad symbolic thing. And I mean, I think it's, I just hope everybody lands on their feet.
I'm sure the majority of those teams will get reallocated to various Sony studios. I'm not too worried about that part. It's more the history behind it. They're free to do what they want to do, but it's just at the end of the day, so, like you said, so many classic PlayStation franchises have come from Japan Studio, and definitely not the news I was expecting today. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to mention in regards to because we've got like 20 minutes left and we still need to tackle
Jeff
real quick. Yeah, I just wanted to say they, like Justin said, most of their stuff of late has been co-developed or as a support studio with other teams, but Puppeteer was really awesome for the PS3, and I think they did that one. That was one of their original games, so I just wanted to give a shout out to that one. I really enjoyed that game, and it was fantastic. And I think one thing nobody really wants to say is that this might be the end of Knack.
It died as it lived. Just
what, we're all hoping for that.
Completely
Knack
forgotten. Yeah.
Honestly, like I know it's a meme, but like Knack 2 was a pretty fucking solid game. I'm gonna say it.
Knack 2 was dope.
Matt
Knack 2 co-op was fun as hell.
Matt Piscatella hit hardest.
Put Knack on PC so we can see it with all of the ray tracing and DLSS that it deserves.
I can't believe
4K, 160 FPS, particle physics, Knack,
Yeah.
baby.
I can't believe we're not going to get that Knack Battle Royale.
All right. Yeah, we should move to State of Play. I know Finn likes to actually talk about video games, so I don't know if Finn wants to kick
Fucking
off the State
gamer.
of Play stuff. Like, other than
Sure.
we'll finish off with FF7 because, like, I mean, fuck, it's
That
Final
will
Fantasy
eat
and
up
it's this podcast.
everything we give it.
We need to leave that one. Finn, what did you like most at the State of Play?
Okay, so I mean, my 3 favorite non FF7 intergrade announcements was Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, looks absolutely amazing. I've been a huge fan since it was debuted last year at one of their
It was
State of
running
Plays.
kind of rough though, Finn, in some parts. wasn't it?
How? At what point? No, it looked great.
I mean,
Like
okay.
from full stop.
I mean, Finn, it looked a little choppy at some points. Like it
pull
John,
up the video and prove it.
John,
You
the
say that
State
all the
of
time.
Play, like
You were looking at
streams
it from your
always-
YouTube stream.
Yeah, the
I-
State of Play streams always look like garbage.
You gotta
I
watch the
went back
trailers
and
after.
watched like the actual like 4K trailer. It looks just so good. And I read in the Game Informer article that you can buy hats for your little spirits. And it's so good. Everything about this game is just amazing and makes me very happy.
Their customers'
I
insurance
love
policy.
that the development team is a lot of former like animators from different movie studios. So that's why that animation and the CG looks so good. Kenna looks amazing. I really like Solar Ashes. Looks like the Pathless taken to the next step by the makers of the Hyperlight Drifter team. Sifu looks like they decided to turn the raid hallway scene into a video game, and I was just a real big fan of that. The close quarter combat martial arts style action, and finally, Deathloop. I guess was okay, but that song was a bop.
Deathloop
I love
looks
saying
so-
that because there's so many arcane
That was
stands
some
here.
James.
No.
That song was some James Bond shit right
It
there.
was,
Deathloop
but Deathloop
looks so
looks like
fucking good.
Bioshock, but if Infinite was good.
Like
just-
I love the
Spicy but fair.
I love the 70s like style
Yeah.
and feel of Deathloop. I love Arcane. I'm excited
Yeah.
for that game.
So Keno, I think, was the star of the show for me. That wasn't the finale. I think we can all agree that Knockout City was the opposite of a knockout. It was a doorbell
I
up.
literally already forgot about that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, Jeff, you put something called Security Breach. What is that?
That was the
That
new
might not be
Five
the
Nights at
name of the
Freddy's.
game.
Oh,
I
it's
was
that-
like scrubbing through that
Five
part of the
Nights at
trailer.
Freddy's game. Okay.
Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
Okay,
And you know
I
what?
couldn't
We
find the
had that
actual title in the
conversation.
trailer.
Five
think it's
Nights
just-
is just we're all outside of maybe CJ. None of us are in the generation of Five Nights when it was big. So
See, the
it's
problem
just-
is, I think a lot of people in our mostly age range and older that did not play Five Nights at Freddy's, you see it as a big YouTube thing because it did blow up with people like Markiplier on YouTube. But like, they're genuinely solid little horror games made by one dude who's a super cool guy by all accounts.
it's
you
just
know,
it passed me over.
I respect the hell out of the guy's work ethic and his commitment to fandom and to, let people release free fan stuff if they want. And, I
It
think
wasn't
that
for me, but I'm proud. I'm happy
Yeah.
that it exists for the fans.
Brittany says, "I bet CJ dug into Freddy's."
I'm
CJ,
probably
did
the
you
only
bet-
person on here who played one. I played a couple of them. I think I played.
I've
the
never
first-
played them. No, I never
I think I
played
played the first three.
See, it's not a C. It skipped over CJ too,
Yeah,
and he's younger than all of us combined.
As Derek is talking
don't
about
think-
how he's played
I
three of
played.
them.
I played the first three. So
The only other thing would be that Oddworld Soulstorm is actually going to be April's PlayStation Plus game.
Okay.
So
I think Returnal also looks really good.
I
does
love
look good.
Returnal, but we
does
already knew a lot about that.
Yeah.
Except for me, I didn't know about the release date, so I'm happy.
I'm hopeful that people come away from this realizing that the Crash franchise has always been bad. Those games are not good.
John,
What are you talking about?
John,
John,
you are
no,
wrong.
John,
It is. I'm
listen,
sorry.
John.
Go back and play the
No.
older Crash Bandicoot games. Go ahead.
I did.
They released the
They
remake. And they were
re-released the
great.
trilogy.
They're not good.
They were fun.
Games.
They're fine.
Like,
John, it's okay. You can admit you're bad at them, and therefore you got mad at them.
no, like
John,
they're not great.
John,
CJ.
shut the fuck up.
CJ has the fucking floor.
CJ, do not talk.
God damn, what?
Your
Shut
surrogate
the
father.
That's
fuck
a
up.
bad take. That's a there we go. That's a bad take.
Go off,
John.
CJ. Go off.
John, actually, it's funny. I don't know why I'm getting mad at you because I don't like the original Crash games either.
What the fuck are you complaining about?
What is this podcast?
Shit on John session?
I just don't. I just really like Crash 4.
Wait, I'm talking, what the fuck are you complaining about, CJ?
Because you said Crash 4 meant that the whole franchise was
Right,
bad.
that
so-
just didn't even fucking
That's a
sense.
bad take. No, listen, John, because don't speak ill of Crash 4 because that game's a masterpiece. All right,
Fine.
are you?
Crash?
What
Fine,
are the?
fine. Crash 4 is acceptable. The other Crash games are bad. How about that?
Okay.
How about, see, what the fuck?
Crash 2's okay. Crash 2's okay.
Ooh. Anyway, I'd like to point out that Solar Ashes looks fucking awesome. I will
Yes,
buy.
it does.
I will buy anything that fucking Heart Machine puts out after Hyperlight Drifter. And real quick, I'm both happy and surprised.
Hold on. I'm getting a call here. Hold on. One second. Jim,
Chad Kroger.
how's it going? It's Jim Ryan. President
Oh,
of
it's
PlayStation
Jim
Studios.
Ryan, noted friend of the show, Jim Ryan.
Yeah, we're just John was just about to talk about how good the Final Fantasy 16 showcase was that he has been looking forward to all week since you announced the state of play.
Okay, that's how you want to play it. All right. That's how you want to play it.
I-
No,
thought
that's
Jim
fine.
Ryan
I'm
wants to
sorry.
play
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry. What was that?
That's fine.
What,
No,
what was that, Mr.
That's
Ryan?
fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, you
cool.
didn't
Totally
show Final
cool.
Fantasy 16
fine.
at all.
That's
There was
totally fine.
absolutely no mention
not
of it
clicking
during
that.
the state of play.
That's
Oh,
totally fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. Thank you for clearing that up. I know you're busy. You've got to finish grinding the rest of the components of Knack to dust now that you've shut down Japan studio. So I will leave you to that.
Wow,
And
dude, that ending it harshly. Holy
and
shit.
we'll get back to it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Justin, what the fuck did Knack do to deserve that? Oh my god.
It knows what it did.
Knack is collateral damage for John's terrible prediction.
Hey, we did get some Final Fantasy stuff. So in a way,
Oh, that doesn't
Dude,
count.
you specifically said
no, 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 no.
16.
Don't
Don't
even-
even try to
No.
move this goalpost.
no. It's not a goalpost. Final Fantasy VII remake is indeed a Final Fantasy game, just as 16 is, right? So I got
Okay, I'm gonna post
No.
the screen cap of your
No.
fine. Please do, Justin. This guy doesn't give a fuck. But here's the thing, though. In all seriousness,
I see the pain in your eyes, John. I see
fuck
that.
you, all of you, shut up.
Look at darkness.
Terrible. You're all the worst. Like, I love you all, but god damn. Anyway, as
You know
I
what's
was
crazy? Metroid Prime Trilogy also wasn't the state of play.
John letting us down with this.
To be fair, the last Metroid Prime trilogy was me. So
Can I finish my thought now? Can I finish my thought? Is that okay with anybody here? Can I get this out of the way? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. At any rate.
So Final Fantasy VII remake.
Shut the fuck up, Finn! I was
we are
very
on some bullshit tonight.
I was very, very happy to see that Final Fantasy VII Remake's little upgrade path is free. I was
Yes.
not expecting that. I was expecting them to charge full price for like a full-blown PS5 version.
Oh yeah, the Square Enix model.
Right. Although it did say that after you upgrade it, you can purchase the episode with Yuffie. So I
Well,
mean,
yeah, you're gonna have to buy the DLC.
but
I'm very okay with paying for DLC
me too.
and having the actual technical and quality of life upgrades from moving to the PS5 version be free. I am very okay with that.
Me too. I was it's what, like one chapter they said? One
Yeah,
chapter.
one chapter.
Yeah, so I mean it'll be a very, very small vertical slice, but at the same time, like it wasn't even the 60 frames a second for a Final Fantasy VII remake for me. It was like the advanced lighting effects. Like holy shit!
Are
The
the
lighting
doors
was
going to
a
look like
big
they weren't made
difference.
in MS Paint?
Yeah, let's fucking hope.
Well, yeah, they actually like shouted out the texture upgrades. I was like, oh, good.
They didn't
Yeah.
show the door though.
32-bit textures now, my dudes.
They didn't show the door. They did show some of those awful like JPEG backgrounds have been completely redone.
I'm really happy to see that we're not getting a fucking JPEG that was stretched out in Microsoft PowerPoint and slapped in the background of you know, the Shinra building. Because
Why does the skybox have compression artifacts? Like,
no, look,
Smog's
I mean,
looking real pixelated today.
yeah, like, you know, I thought it looked great. You know, I've been putting off another replay of this game specifically because I figured we were going to get a PS5 upgrade at some point. And I think June is a good time frame because there's a lot coming out between now and June, and that'll give me time to kind of work my way through all that.
I also really like that your saves carry over, so
Yeah.
you don't have to restart the whole game.
I mean, I'm going to restart the whole game because I'm going to do a whole replay.
Are you actually going to do it on hard mode this time?
I've already done it on hard mode.
Thought you didn't.
No, I did.
Oh, cool.
The only thing I haven't done is what's the final super boss of the Anthem? Pride and Joy.
Yeah, Pride and Joy sucks.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. But no, like, and then of course that wasn't the only Final Fantasy announcement we got today. You know, there's also there was what's the name of the fucking battle royale that we're getting? What is that?
Final Fantasy Battle Royale.
It's like the
It's
first,
called like
Hell yeah.
Shinra Soldier or something.
oh,
It's like first soldier.
CJ's all about this apparently.
Hell yeah. If it was on console, oh man, I'd be all over it. I fucking stream it every day. Are you kidding?
No, it's mobile only.
I know. That's the problem.
now.
I would.
For now.
CJ, where we dropping, man?
Be dropping. I know nothing about Final Fantasy. I'll learn whatever fucking call signs for whatever fucking Final Fantasy bullshit, like to play a fucking battle royale with you, John.
CJ, I'll tell you what. We'll set up a training session next week.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, because
3
John's
hours.
not going to play on mobile.
Just a 3-hour block where I can spin you up on all the lore. But no, like this was. I mean, look, cool. Here's the thing: if you like battle royale games, great. Like, you know, this is for you. It's just the last fucking thing I expected. It's a goddamn Final Fantasy battle royale game. You know, fine. Like it looks fine. The fact that you can call up summons in the middle of you know the gameplays, you know, that's pretty cool. It's not something that's for me, and I think mobile is a kind of a weird delivery system for this. But you know. The other thing that I felt like we ought to talk about a little bit more was Ever Crisis. Final Fantasy
I don't know what they're like. It's all of FF7 and all the expanded stuff. I'm like, cool. How does that work?
So it looks like it's going to be, because they call it a chapter episodic style thing. So it's probably they're probably going to break down the major story beats of each one and turn it into playable chunks using whatever new gameplay they've been showing, and so you'll play through the story of, and let's be real, most people nowadays probably haven't, especially more recent fans, never played Dirge of Cerberus. Most people in America never played before Crisis, and Crisis Core is still niche to most people. So for a huge chunk of people, especially people that jumped on board with Remake, are going to be experiencing all this ancillary plot stuff for the first time. So I think it's awesome. And the fact that it's on mobile and episodic means you can. So my guess,
but Finn, we don't know that it's episodic though. They said it's chapter based.
Chapter based. That's the word I meant to use.
Well, mobile games that usually do that release the chapters in chunks. They'll release like a couple chapters at a time.
That's not what they did with Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition though.
Well, I'm just saying this is covering a lot more than FF15 did, because let's be honest, how much story do they have to cover?
If I would, so there's only one screen that looks like it shows gameplay. It looks like you have a row of actions that you can touch that if I was a betting man, you probably have cooldowns on them. So you could probably get your setup and then you hit the button, you perform your attacks, or it could be like a card-based slot materia system where you like stack up your attack. Who knows? But I would say they'll probably they'll probably monetize it. Releasing you download each game story separately for like a couple bucks. Like you get the core game, and then if you want the extra stuff, you pay for it, because that is a fairly standard mobile pricing.
I'll tell you what, though, Finn. I'll tell you what, though. If we do find out that is the makeup of this game, a lot of people are going to be fucking a little disappointed about that, I think.
I mean, people like you, maybe.
I mean, I don't really.
I'm fully excited. I've already earmarked away like some Apple credit to pay for this, and I can't wait to play it.
I mean, it's like I won't lie to you, like if they were to go that route, like I would be a little less enthusiastic about it. But at the same time, I'm also somebody who, like, aside from Crisis Core, I'm not really a fan of the extended Final Fantasy VII universe. I didn't like Before Crisis. I didn't like Dirge of Cerberus. So that stuff is pretty disposable to me. So I feel like this is being marketed to an audience that that's fine. Like, if you want to, that's a great way to get people who are pressed for time to digest, all these games and all the storyline in a relatively, I would assume, straightforward and timely fashion. So that's cool. It may not be for me, but if I want to go play Final Fantasy VII original, I'll just go play the original. Like, I don't need to, I don't need a complete reworking of all the visuals for it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I mean, the second they said it was mobile, you were never going to play it anyway.
Oh no, but that's because I don't play mobile games. Like you said, Finn. Like, I'm sure it'll probably come to console at some point. And when it does, I'll probably give it a shot. So
yeah, because that's I'm just saying. I keep saying this, but Square does this. They'll release, like they did it with their Go games too, like Hitman Go and Tomb Raider Go. Like they'll come to console. Yeah. So they do these mobile games, like unless it's like a gacha, like Brave Exvius.
Yeah.
But they'll probably do all this on mobile, and then they'll collect everything and sell it at not a premium, but like a full price. Like, let's say each chapter is $3.99 or something, and so they'll compile it all together and sell it for $29.99 on Switch. That's what they'll do. That's how and they'll get the double dippers, because they'll wait until everything's released on mobile, and then X amount of months later it hits consoles, and people will buy it again or buy it for the first time because now it's all collected and they can buy it on their system of choice. And Square has just proven that is a very effective business model for going from mobile to console. It works.
I feel really sorry for people who are not Final Fantasy fans. but I want you all to understand that your life cannot be as difficult as mine. A Final Fantasy fan who does not play MMOs and does not like Final Fantasy VII.
You liked the remake.
Here's the problem.
You liked the remake.
Yeah, no. See, I liked remake. I'm like John in that 7.
I liked the remake until about the last quarter, fifth, whatever of the game.
I actually put Final Fantasy VII in my bottom of the top 10. Like, it's not even top 5.
See, I'm not that weird. I'm not a weirdo like Finn. Like, I don't do that. But 7 Remake is now one of my top. Is now supplanted as my third favorite Final Fantasy. It's a top 5 Final Fantasy.
Do I play the remake or not?
Like, you play the remake.
The remake's a good game, but
I think you dig the remake. I do think 16 Final Fantasy 16. I feel it. It's going to be like the one that unites everybody. Like,
we'll see. That's not how Final Fantasy works.
Jeff.
I don't know.
Jeff. I'm sorry. That is a prediction that's not going.
There is no prophecy that foretells peace in the kingdom of Final Fantasy. It's not going to happen.
Unless 6 gets a remake.
I believe in Yoshi P. That's all I'm saying.
I do too. Don't get me wrong, but this isn't a Yoshi P problem. This is a fan base problem.
Oh, John, I just realized the most cursed monkey paw thing. All right, we finally get a Final Fantasy VI remake, but it's given the kind of voice acting quality that Trials of Mana got.
Oh. You know what, dude? I'll turn the fucking voices off.
And what kind of voice acting would you be talking about in that regard?
Yeah, that's gonna be Realm.
No. With our luck, Finn, it'll be Kefka.
Oh.
It'll be Kefka. It'll be Kefka. One. Oh, you'll be well done. Like, yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Just saying that's our curse. We'll finally get it, and then it'll just be ruined by something like that.
Oh God,
Kefka's gonna sound like somebody doing not the Mark Hamill Joker voice, but somebody doing the Heath Ledger Joker voice.
Kefka's somebody doing the Leto Joker voice.
That one point on the floating continent, just as he's about to move the statues, he's gonna look at Locke and say, "The only sensible way to live in a world is without rules. Tonight you're gonna break your.
I hate this.
Wait, is Kefka voiced by Ben
It
Shapiro?
Is 10. And with that, welcome to the end. A joke so bad it broke the stream for a moment. It made the stream wince in pain. With that, that's the end of the fucking show.
Also, Blaine in chat says have Kefka say ooh.
Yeah. John, do we have any final bits before we go?
Let me think. So I'll drop more information on this on Monday, but we'll be participating in a fundraiser next weekend that is being organized by Amanda Farrow at Ready Player Mama. So yeah, so we'll be involved in that. I'm trying to think if there's I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. Obviously we won't have a PAX presence this year because there's no fucking PAX. We would be there right now if there was, which is really sad. But yeah, I know, Derek, me too, dude. But I will say just another quick shout out to everybody in our community, everybody in chat. I do believe that we have one of the the coolest, most inclusive community in content creation. I absolutely love what we've been able to build. And this podcast would not be where it is right now without the wonderful people that make up our little SDGC family. And so at the end of the day, after all the laughing and all the joking and yelling is done, just if you're part of the SDGC community and you're in the chat or you're listening to this on any whatever podcast service you do, just remember that we do love you. We truly appreciate every single one of you for not just for what you have given to us, but for who you are. And go out there and be yourselves. Be happy. Don't let anybody tell you, don't let anybody box you in. Don't let anybody tell you. And I say that because of some nasty shit that went down in the Capitol building today, which we don't have to get into. But there's a lot of bigotry out there. There's a lot of intolerance, and don't let anybody tell you who you are. You are beholden to nobody except yourself. And if you're comfortable with yourself, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters to us, and that's all that should matter to you. And what anybody else thinks about that, who fucking cares? Does anybody have anything else before we get out of here?
It turns out that gender is stored in the heart.
It's true.
All right, bye.
John.
Kindness costs nothing but bite.
Wow. Wow.
Sincere.